Good afternoon and welcome to the 2018 State of the College Address and presentation of the President's Excellence in Teaching Awards. The President's Excellence in Teaching Award recipients were selected through a formal peer nomination and faculty review process in collaboration with the deans of each academic institution. I'd like to thank the faculty committees who reviewed the nominations, as well as the faculty of students who sent the nominations in. Many talented and dedicated professors were nominated, and they are all listed in the program. Please join me in a round of applause for all of the nominees. Two awardees were chosen in each division, one part-time faculty member and one full-time faculty member. Each Excellence in Teaching Award recipient will receive a certificate and a monetary award of $2,500. We will now recognize the 2018 Teaching Award recipients. I'm going to ask each divisional dean to join us on stage and assist us in the presentation of the awards for their division. I will then ask each award recipient to join us on the stage after I make a few remarks about them and their work. For the Division of Arts and Humanities, I ask that Dean Janice Smith joins us on the stage. The award for full-time faculty in the Division of Arts and Humanities goes to Professor Herman Haller of the Department of European Languages and Literature. Professor Haller's research is primarily in the area of Italian linguistics and philology, with a focus on Italian and Italian-American sociolinguistics, Italian dialect literature, and Renaissance Italian English lexicography. He rediscovered among his students Italy's regional languages, the myriad of dialects brought over to North America, along with Italian, their contact with English and other languages past and present. This rediscovery led to his work on Italy's extraordinary linguistic stratification, its regional cultures of wealth and dialect literature, and to teaching critical awareness of the meaning of multiple identities and the treasures of cultural plurality. His chair says of him, "I have known Herman for 14 years now, and my admiration and appreciation of him as a mentor, colleague, teacher, and scholar have only grown over time. He is a scholar of international renown. One of the things that is so special about Herman is that his erudition is accompanied by incredible modesty and self-effacement. According to a former graduate student who is now a teacher, Professor Haller teaches both his subject matter and his students with a respect and reverence that I have rarely seen in another educator. During class, he is always very well prepared and notably enthusiastic about the material. He answers every question with respect and deference and always strives to meet students on their current level rather than expecting them to be at his level of understanding. Professor Haller has an exceptional classroom personality that creates an environment in which every student feels not only welcomed, but truly valued. Professor Haller says among the greatest satisfactions he has had while teaching at Queens College is news from former students years after they've read Dante and Machiavelli and are in their own teaching careers on Long Island, on the West Coast, in Alaska, in Africa, or as managers in the world of fashion and music. Professor Haller cannot be here today, and his award is being accepted by his chair, Professor Drew Jones. Professor Jones, may I ask you to join us on stage? The award for part-time faculty in the Division of Arts and Humanities goes to H. Roz Wall of the Aaron Copland School of Music. Professor Wall has served on the voice faculty at Queens College since 2008, where she has also directed the Queens College Women's Choir and taught verbal pedagogy. She received her Bachelor of Music Education with a concentration in piano at Indiana University and her Master of Music from Roosevelt University. She is currently pursuing her doctorate in musical arts at the CUNY Graduate Center with a certification in Africana Studies. Her dissertation is entitled Teaching Choral Music of the African Diaspora in the United States Towards a Living Black History. Her chair wrote, from her quiet beginnings as a Graduate Center Fellow in 2008, Roswell has grown into a major presence at the Aaron Copland School of Music. Comments of support for this award came from all corners of the School of Music because she is the most notable musical omnivore on our faculty. She is a singer, conductor, pedagogue, ethnographer, musicologist, and theorist. She performs jazz, classical, spiritual, and world music. She teaches individual lessons, regular classes, and has directed large ensembles. One student wrote, Professor Wall's greatest trait is her gift to share her love for music and deep appreciation for culture with her fellow musicians and students in ways that breathe inspiration to each one of us. This powerful inspiration allows us to break the cultural barriers we may sometimes live in and begin to create a versatile, free mind that allows us to indulge in all of the beautiful sounds music has to offer. These experiences inspired me to move beyond my limits musically and intellectually and create beautiful things. I'd like to ask Professor Wall to join us on stage. And now for the Division of Education, I'd like to ask Dean Craig Michaels to join us on stage. The award for full-time faculty in the Division of Education goes to Dr. Lourdes Rivera of the Department of Educational and Community Programs. Dr. Rivera is a faculty member in the Counselor Education Program. Prior to joining the faculty at Queens College, she worked as a counselor in mental health and educational settings. Her scholarship is focused on career counseling and development with an emphasis on college and career readiness, multicultural competence in teaching and counseling, and issues of equity in the educational setting. Professor Rivera views teaching as an opportunity to engage students in a collaborative exploration of ideas, theories, and professional practices while promoting greater awareness of self and the social and cultural factors that impact the work we do. According to one student account, she had more confidence in me than I did in myself. And Dr. Rivera's faith in me was based on more than just my capabilities, but in a genuine belief in my ability to make a difference in the lives of high school students. She continually had faith in me. Dr. Rivera verbally and non-verbally communicates the belief that learning is a lifelong process. This mindset inspires her students to think critically and thoughtfully, both inside and outside the classroom, ultimately ensuring that future counselors are encouraged to think outside of their comfort zone, and as graduates, they leave Queens College with the knowledge, skills, and dispositions to help all students achieve their future college and career goals. I ask Professor Rivera to join us on stage. The award for part-time faculty in the Division of Education goes to Monica Gigante, also from the Department of Education and Community Programs. She has been a classroom and center-based early childhood professional for more than 25 years and has been able to translate these experiences to support our pre-service special education teacher candidates' professional development. As a parent of 3 children with special needs, including 2 children with autism, she brings a unique voice that enriches candidates' understanding. She received her MSED in Special Education from Queens College and was the recipient of the Alan Richard Hamovich Award for Outstanding Research, Scholarship, and Professionalism in Special Education. It is given each year to only one graduate who excels in coursework and fieldwork. Professor Gigante consistently receives high ratings from students who express gratitude for her professionalism and amazing responsiveness to their needs, often scheduling late night or weekend phone appointments to scaffold learning or provide extensive feedback. I ask Professor Gigante to join us on stage. For the Division of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, I ask Dean Susan Rotenberg to join us on stage. The award for full-time faculty goes to Dr. Carolyn Pitta of the Psychology Department. She did her undergraduate work at Princeton, her MA at the University of Wisconsin, and her PhD at Indiana University, where she studied critical periods in vocal learning. She joined the faculty at Queens College in 2006 and has a joint appointment at the Graduate Center in the Psychology and Biology Neuroscience programs. She studies behavioral neuroscience and how it impacts the brain. One of her main goals is to teach skills and techniques for lifelong critical thinking for acquiring new knowledge. According to one student, I failed to understand the unit conversion the first few times she explained it and admitted out loud that I've never been very good at math. Without missing a beat, she looked me in the eye and said, "This isn't math, this is thinking, and you're good at thinking." In 3 short sentences, she had both reframed the problem and empowered me to solve it. Another student wrote, intertwining wit, a touch of humor, praise, posing interesting questions to get us to think about the possibilities and limitations of research, Dr. Pitta managed to turn what could have been a dense course into a beautiful narrative that I could not get enough of. It was her class that convinced me to switch from being a French language and literature major to a psychology major. Sorry. I asked Professor Pitta to join us on stage. The award for part-time faculty in the Division of Mathematics and Natural Sciences goes to Michael Joseph of the Mathematics Department. Professor Joseph is a former finance professional turned applied mathematician. In 2003, he started working as a public accountant at PwC. In 2010, he decided to follow his passion for math by coming to Queens College, first as a student and then as a math instructor. He holds a BS in accounting from Binghamton University, a BA in applied math from Queens College, and is pursuing a PhD in applied math at Stony Brook. Michael enjoys teaching, tutoring, and learning a variety of mathematical and financial subjects. He draws upon his former career in finance to connect math in the classroom to the real world. One student wrote, "What makes Professor Joseph the best professor I've ever had is his positive energy. He possesses an infectious love of knowledge and a passion for teaching." Another said, "He would remind us that we need to take ownership of our education as an adult instead of saying, 'You guys need to study more.'" It was indeed a turning point for me. Professor Joseph, please join me on the stage. And next, for the Division of Social Sciences, I asked Dean Michael Wolf to join us on stage. The award for full-time faculty goes to Professor James Moore of the Anthropology Department. Professor Moore arrived at Queens College in 1979. He brought to his teaching career his feeling that real, in-depth learning often takes place outside the classroom in the opportunities created by mentors. He took students to surveys and excavations of hunter-gatherer and early farmer sites in Ireland and closer to home on Shelter Island in Rocky Point and Center Moriches. He has worked with students to recognize the early European influence on the Native American settlements on Long Island. Later, he shifted his research to the historic archaeology of Queens. The Bound House in Flushing provided an opportunity for Queens College students to work on the excavation of the yard of the 1661 house, the oldest surviving structure in Queens. Bound and other early settlers in Queens used enslaved Africans to work their farms. The research at the Bound House, Queens County Farm, and Alley Pond Park has spurred a number of senior honors theses. These students have gone on to graduate school in archaeology at CUNY, UMass, University of Illinois, Binghamton, and others. I'd like to read a couple of quotes from the nominations. Dr. Moore always reached out to me when I went to him with questions in mind or for advising. I always received the best advising and the answers that I was looking for. Professor Moore challenged us with scientific papers where we had to analyze the text deeply, question the premise of our arguments, and make us rethink a lot of what we knew. It was an engaging and thought-provoking experience that inspired me to major in anthropology. Professor Moore, please join us. And the award for part-time faculty in the Division of Social Sciences goes to Katerina Hatzandriou of the Sociology Department. Professor Hatzandriou joined the Department of Sociology at Queens College in 2008. She teaches required and elective courses, including special topics courses she has developed based on her academic background and interest. Her background includes having earned 4 degrees from 3 CUNY schools, including 2 graduate degrees from Queens College and 3 postgraduate certificates from NYU. She brings great enthusiasm into the classroom and always looks forward to teaching her students and learning from them. Queens College taught her Katerina so that she can serve, and now she serves the Queens College undergraduate student population with pride. Quoting from the nominations, Professor Hatzandriou definitely cares about trying to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the go-to person for whatever needs a student has. Professor Hatzandriou exemplifies the qualities of a first-class educator. She possesses the knowledge and skills not only to teach, but to make the course engaging and inviting. Professor Hatzandriou, please join us on stage.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
And let me ask you just to join me in one more round of applause for all of the award winners.
Thank you. Thank you, Betsy, and again, congratulations to all our distinguished faculty and the winners today. I want to begin by thanking all those who made the process of selecting the Faculty Excellence Awards possible. The Provost mentioned the selection committee. I want to thank the team in the Provost's office and the events office, Silvia Hernandez and her team, the communications team that helped to put this together, Jeff Rosenstock, the voice behind the curtain, and all the help from the Kofferberg, and Glenda Grace and Odalis Diaz-Garcia from my office for sort of helping to put all this event together. When we started, we had great music in our background, and it was fitting that as we're here at Le Frac Hall, which is part of our own Copeland School of Music. We were listening to the music from QC alumni and Grammy Award winner Arturo Ofarril. So he won the 60th Grammy awarded for Best Instrumental Composition this year. So that's what we were listening to as we were waiting to get started. And it just adds to a really, really outstanding list of over 100 Grammy Awards or nominations that our faculty and students have received over the last 40 years. So kudos to Arturo and to the tradition of excellence here in our Copeland School of Music. I think it is entirely appropriate that we begin this State of the College address by celebrating our faculty members who have excelled as teachers. The faculty awardees today are emblematic of our commitment to the success of our students and the importance of investing in the professional development of our faculty. These two themes, student success and supporting faculty and staff excellence, are two of the 4 mission goals of our strategic plan. Before I advance with my comments here today, I want to announce that we will be celebrating the excellence and dedication of our non-teaching staff later in the spring, and the details about the nomination and the selection process for those awards will be announced shortly. We didn't want anybody to think that we have forgotten our very hard work and dedicating non-teaching staff, but we thought that it was appropriate to have an individual ceremony to recognize their excellence and their work. The combination of our ongoing 80th anniversary and my 4th year here at the college provides a unique opportunity for reflection. Our anniversary allows us to look back at our mission and our origins, and then to consider how prepared we are to carry on that mission moving forward. Back in 1937, the promise of Queens College, known even then as the College of the Future, was to provide a first-rate education to students from every ethnic and economic background. I think we can look back over the past 80 years and claim that we have been true to that mission, that we have many accomplishments to be proud of, and that we are ready to advance that mission into the future. Last year, during my State of the College address, I shared with you many of the key indicators that speak to the health of the college: enrollment and graduation trends, the number of full-time faculty, fundraising and grant figures, among others. Today, in order to keep my remarks short and to prize you for having battled the elements and come here and attend, I will just focus on a few areas. But just know that we have updated the entire PowerPoint presentation with the latest information and data, and that information is it currently on the website? Is it? Okay? So if you go to our website, you can see the updated version of that presentation so that you can see and review. Let me begin by saying that I speak to you today here more confident of our ability to advance our goals than when I started here almost 4 years ago. Please indulge the historian in me to remind us of where we were back in the fall of 2014. First, we had experienced a substantial drop in enrollment, losing over 2,000 students in 2 years. This decline had the repercussion of creating a flat budget scenario during that first year for me, one that was followed by cuts of 3%, 2%, and 1% in the next 3 years. And it is important to note that those subsequent cuts were not driven by enrollment gaps, but instead by centrally mandated budget adjustments. Faculty, staff, and administrators felt demoralized as we had gone without a new contract since 2010, affecting everyone's quality of life and hindering our competitiveness in hiring and retaining talent. We coped with internal and external communication challenges that affected our ability to work together outside our divisional silos and our capacity to convey to external stakeholders our value proposition and to share with them the transformational things we do in this college. Our fiscal tightness was also hurting us in the upkeep of our physical plant. I don't think I have to go on and on and on here, as we probably remember, or maybe don't want to remember, those days, right? You get the picture. But I stand here today convinced that we have turned a corner and that those days are mostly behind us. That does not mean that there is not work still to be done in many of those areas, not by any stretch of the imagination. Still, I am convinced that we have really moved forward. But, and I want to be clear about this here, we have moved forward because of you. Because of your collective efforts, your persistence, your commitment to the mission and to the importance of our college, your belief in the potential of our students. Because of all these things, we have begun to turn the corner. We're moving our college in the direction of results, of change, and of improvements. And all that is happening again because of you. You are the heart and soul of this institution, and you have made this transformation happen. And for that, I want to say thank you, I want to say thank you, and I want to say gracias. And why do I believe that we have turned a corner, you might reasonably ask? One indicator for me is that we continue to be viewed with respect in academic areas where we have always been strong: music, education, business and accounting, library science, languages, neuroscience, and the liberal arts and sciences, for example. And now we have added new fields of distinction and strong reputation, like environmental studies, computer science, risk management, and data analytics, among others. Another indicator of us turning a corner is the increasing number of nonprofits, city, state, and federal agencies, and other institutions that are turning to Queens College for innovation, partnership, and collaboration to solve the issues that they face. Let me give you a few examples. When New Visions for Public Schools and the New York City Department of Education wanted to pilot a new sustainable model for teacher residencies to better train teachers so they will stay longer in the profession, whom do they call? A Division of Education. When the acclaimed LA community-based theater group, the Cornerstone Theater Company, wanted to be in residence for the summer in New York City, whom do they contact? Our Drama, Theater, and Dance Department. When New York City wanted to create a pilot paid internship program for computer science students as part of their tech workforce initiative, whom do they contact? Our Computer Science Department. Our 2-year TTP residency here at QC has trained over 99 students in web development and placed them in internships and tech companies in New York City, and many of them have gotten jobs as a result of those internships. When CUNY wanted to launch a system-wide performing arts and dance program, now called the CUNY Dance Initiative, whom did they call? The Kupferberg Center for the Arts. When the New York City Council was looking for spaces where entrepreneurship would flourish, particularly related to emerging tech and graphic design sectors, whom did they call? Queens College. Their support allows us to create the Tech Incubator, which now has 21 businesses in residence and a full schedule of workshops, forums, and crash courses open to our students and to the community. And when elected officials from the Rockaways wanted to survey key stakeholders regarding plans to convert an abandoned railway into a High Line theme type park in their district, Whom do they call to conduct the survey and do the analysis? Our Urban Studies Department. So, as you can see, and I can give many other examples, part of my optimism about moving forward comes from an ever-increasing visibility of our work and the desire of many to collaborate with our students, faculty, staff, and alumni. There are a lot more people paying attention to Queens College today and to the transformational work that we do. And yes, more and more people know that the great talent here at Queens College, the talent of our faculty, the talent of our staff, the talent of our students, and the talent of our alumni is ready and eager to be a partner in helping to tackle some of the more pressing issues affecting New Yorkers. As you know, I enjoy bragging about the things that you all do. So let me give you a couple of examples about the talent achievements of different sectors of our Queens College community. Among our students, Josephine Cook became our third Marshall Scholarship winner. Madison Rowland rewrote the record history books in NCAA women's history with the most points scored, more rebounds gathered, and more assists gathered of any women basketball player in the history of Divisions 1, 2, or 3 in the NCAA. A team of Queens College faculty and students won the 2017 CUNY Sustainability Competition. And another team of our students won the National TD Bank Ameritrade Think or Swim Challenge, beating students from over 1,500 schools. From our faculty, let me just give you some examples from dozens of great stories that I could share about recent accomplishments. Geologist and alumnus Stephen Picard was part of the first major expedition to explore the new continent of Finlandia. Distinguished Professor Kimiko Han became president of the Poetry Society of America. Chemist Bob Engel and his colleagues were awarded a U.S. patent for compounds that, when applied to certain surfaces, render them antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. It basically kills everything. And Amy Singh from the Sociology Department was selected as a member of an advisory group that will make recommendations to the New York City Department of Education for integrating the New York public education K-12 system. On the alumni side, they keep shining all over the nation. Our commencement speaker this year will be Cristina Jimenez Moreta, who won the MacArthur Genius Award for her work with Dreamers and lobbying for DACA. John Favreau, the filmmaker, received the Harold Lloyd Award for filmmaking. Olivier Noel's company, DNA Simple, received TV funding after participating in TV show The Shark Tank. So our alumni office is going to be talking shortly to him. And the Honorable Adriano Espaillat, a proud graduate of our SEEK program, became the first Dominican American and the first non-citizen converted to a citizen to become a member of Congress this year. Let me digress for a second, since I mentioned our dreamer leader, Cristina Jimenez. Every day, it is my privilege to witness the commitment of our dreamers, those young women and men who came to this country at an early age and are now building successful futures through education. The notion of tearing these students away from what is, in most cases, the only country they have ever known is both heartbreaking and family-breaking. How short-sighted and ignorant of our history are these efforts, as our immigrant heritage is not only the history of our nation, but it is also our best hope for the future. I know that you stand with me in support of the dreamers. And thank you. And as we individually and collectively support these students, please also remind them that we now have a chapter of CUNY Citizenship Now on our campus that can answer their questions and refer them to additional resources. Let me return my bragging part to the examples of the exciting work that is happening on the campus. We were among the inaugural My Brother's Keepers program grantees in New York State, receiving a $1.6 million 5-year grant focused on addressing the critical need to increase the number of educators in our classrooms that come from historically underrepresented groups and economically disadvantaged backgrounds. The grant supports a partnership between Queens College Department of Education, Division of Education, and the New York City Department of Education to recruit, educate, mentor, and provide clinically rich residencies for a diverse group of future educators in high-needs public schools. As a result of our Hispanic serving status, meaning that over 25% of our enrollment is Latino, we have been able to apply to a number of grants, including the 5-year, $5.6 million HSI, Hispanic Serving Institution, STEM grant we received in 2016. The project is called STEM Bridges Across Eastern Queens, which is a collaboration between us and Queensborough Community College. Among many other things, the STEM Bridges grant aims to enrich entry-level courses in STEM disciplines and to create learning collectives in which students serve as peer mentors to each other in the sciences. Because of the HSI status that we have, and that I'm in the board of a CU, that comes in handy, we were invited to a summit for HSI faculty at Google's headquarters in LA, no throwing rocks at Google at this time, where we learned about Google's program to diversify the tech workforce. We are now in the preliminary stages of a discussion with Google to host their CSSI extension program for our incoming freshmen. This past November, we hired a new director for a Center for Career Engagement and Internships, Savi Gunn, who arrived with a number of fresh and exciting ideas. Savi and her team are redesigning their organizational structure and creating a plan to integrate all career support services in their office. They play a key role in building futures for our students. And speaking of new hires, let me just say that I am delighted that our recently appointed Chief Librarian, Kristen Hart, is already working collectively with her library colleagues to shape a new strategic vision for our library. I have often said that libraries are the heart of the university. I'm a historian. I love books and stacks and libraries, right? So I'm happy to report that our heart is in good hands moving forward. And if you need further evidence from external objective institutions that they're looking at us with renewed enthusiasm and respect, let me remind us of the evaluation last year from our accrediting agent, Middle States. At a time when many institutions are being placed on a monitoring list upon the completion of their accreditation review, we passed our accreditation process, and we were part of the first group of colleges and universities reviewed using new standards. We passed accreditation with flying colors. I have full confidence that our solid brand identity and reputation, targeted recruitment, and our unique QC in 4 campaign will continue to attract quality students. The Excelsior Scholarship will undoubtedly also help us in this regard, and I feel that the combination of QC and 4 and Excelsior will make us an even more attractive option for students and parents. We are already noticing this with a substantial increase in the number of prospective students choosing Queens College as the #1 choice for the fall of 2018. It would also allow us to achieve the increase in graduation and retention rates identified in our strategic plan, as we notice a very welcome rise in the number of our students who take at least 15 credits a semester. I congratulate everyone who helped to make this happen under the leadership of Provost Henry and VP Alvarez, and know that with your talent and dedication, we will sustain these positive trends for years to come. I also want to encourage all of you to help generate interest among our students to take advantage of the summer session. There are many good reasons, academic and fiscal, why we're encouraging students to take summer classes at Queens College. Pell-eligible students, which make about 45% of our students, can now use part of their Pell Grants to take classes in the summer. We're offering over 700 courses, including many online options. For the first time ever, there will be free on-campus parking for our students. If you pay for parking for the full year, you never paid summer, so it was built in if you paid entirely. So just for those who pay for the entire year, I just want to be clear. Students can register for classes beginning on February the 13th, the earliest we have ever done this. Summer is coming, which is tough to remember with all the snow today, but I know that every department is working to ensure that the most robust core offerings are available, and that we will continue last year's practice of giving a percentage of the enrollment revenue to our academic departments. Thank you for helping to make summer classes a AAA, more available, more accessible, and more advantageous to our students. Where we need new injections of energy, resources, dedication, and innovation is in increasing our graduate enrollment. I don't know if, okay, the chart is up there, thank you so much. As you can see from the chart in display here, that's total enrollment. The red bars are on the graduate enrollment, and the gray bars are graduate enrollment. So as you can see, our graduate enrollment has been declining steadily since 2010. More troubling for me is that while CUNY and the nation share in that declining trend for several years, in the last 2 years, most of our CUNY sister schools have been experiencing increases in their master's programs. Since 2010, we have lost about 1,525 students and probably between $4 and $5 million in revenue. I am convinced that reversing this trend in graduate enrollment is one of our most important tasks moving forward. It is important to help us advance the success of our students. It is important to assist us in building the most robust intellectual communities on campus that we can, and it is an indispensable part of stabilizing our fiscal health. Fortunately, we have been making important advances here, starting with the first time in the college history that we commission a review of our graduate programs. My thanks go to Dean Michael Wolf, Associate Provost Bill McClure, and to all the faculty and chairs who participated in the committee that did the graduate review and who are implementing many of the committee's recommendations. This team is doing groundbreaking work in the area of accelerated graduate degrees, which will allow our students to begin work on a master's degree or graduate certificate while they're still undergraduates. With your encouragement, I have no doubt that this will be a very popular option for our students and a great step in the direction of creating a robust graduate life culture on our campus. I am pleased that we have been able to allocate additional resources to attracting more full-time faculty. Last year, we added 40 new full-time faculty. This is vital to sustain the robust programs we already offer, but also to be able to make advances in other areas like the expansion of graduate education. This year, we authorized 41 new searches, and I know many of you are being finalized as we speak. And our presidential hires initiative was very successful in identifying candidates that advance our academic and diversity strategic plan goals. Betsy and I look forward to another good year next year, continuing to expand our faculty consistent with the enrollments in our programs, offerings, and requirements. I am also pleased that in the past 2 years, we awarded 52 Faculty Research Enhancements Awards with over $300,000 in funding coming from the Queens College Foundation and from our auxiliary. So yes, some of the money that we're getting from the movie rentals, from the TV shows filming on campus, some of that some of that money is going directly to support faculty research. I have also talked to the faculty in my departmental visits and to the PMB about our attempts to build a science fund with gifts from our donor base to improve our startup packages to STEM faculty, laboratory equipment maintenance and upgrades, and other needs. I am also excited by recent developments in our fundraising. I can see the fruit of the seeds we have planted over the past couple of years beginning to emerge. This year, for example, donations in the $25,000 range have increased. In addition to the traditional work that we do to encourage the support of alumni to the academic departments, we have intensified our efforts to seek support for graduate fellowships, consistent with the theme of supporting more graduate students, the Science Fund, and paid internships for our undergraduate students. Last year, we received a $1 million gift from the Give Something Back Foundation to fund 50 talented low-income students in our residence hall for 4 years, starting in 2020. And we didn't have to apply for this. They found us. They liked our track record, they knew what we were doing, so we became the first public college in New York State to receive funding from this foundation. Speaking of donors who found us, that would include the $250,000 gift from Suhil Kirpalani for an endowment to generate funds to support the innovation exchange that is done annually by our Center for Ethnic, Religious, and Racial Understanding, CERU. We also received the largest gift ever to support our athletic infrastructure, $1 million to renovate the pool and locker area and to develop a repair upkeep endowment. So if at some point in the spring, the pool is closed for a couple of weeks, you will understand why. The stewardship of our development team helped us to secure 3 recent substantial state gifts. The Dr. Palekar State Trust for $450,000, most of which will be used to support students conducting scientific research and also for science faculty startup research funding. $3.6 million from Mary A. O'Connor for juniors and seniors majoring in economics and or business administration. And $8.4 million, this came out really recently, state gift from Adam Conrad, and we're still waiting to see the restrictions that are stipulated in that state gift. And just last week, we received $1.5 million to endow a chair in environmental geochemistry. I'd like to ask for a round of applause for the members of the Queens College Foundation and the development team and our faculty that worked very hard in making sure that we create the stewardship to receive that. Although capital funding for large new projects has not been allocated since I started at Queens, clearly I have to work a little bit on my sense of timing. We have been fortunate to advance many critical maintenance and sustainability projects. These projects may not be the sexy kind that lend themselves to ribbon-cutting ceremonies with elected officials and donors, but they allow us to improve working conditions on campus and to be more energy efficient. Generous funding from the Borough President's Office and our City Council members have allowed us to build the Tech Incubator, to renovate dozens of laboratories and classrooms and sections in our library. We've also just started the construction for the new building that would house the Louis Armstrong Archives right across the street from the Louis Armstrong House and Museum. We have also created a pipeline of projects for the next several years, such as the renovation of the Speech Language Hearing Center, the opening of the QC Hub, a state-of-the-art digital film theater, a music recording studio, resurfacing our track and field and soccer fields, building new environmental and neuroscience lab, and expanding student study areas in the second floor of the Rosenthal Library, among others. When we all work together to generate the vision captured in our strategic plan for 2015-2020, we emphasize the importance of doing more international work in our campus. Among the many initiatives that we identify, one was to increase the number of international students that we have on campus. We all know the many documented benefits of this added diversity to the classroom experience, campus life, and our surrounding community. The International Student Success Program is about to finally become real as we are reviewing proposals from potential educational partners who responded to the RFP issued last fall. If it all goes according to plan, we will start bringing in students by the spring 2019 semester. The realization of this project gives me special joy, not only because it is the right thing for our campus and our students, not just because it's one of the things we put in the strategic plan we said we were going to do, but also because it is something that had been debated, explored, analyzed, studied, talked about for more than 9 years, and now is finally happening. I am proud and optimistic about the present and the future of Queens College as an anchor institution, not just of our borough, but of the entire city and the state. That pride and optimism is nurtured and sustained, not just by dedicated work you have all done individually and collectively, but by how deeply you believe in our mission. It is indeed a phenomenal way to celebrate 80 years of achievements and to refocus ourselves on the transformational work that we need to accomplish in the years ahead. I concur with the vision that Queens College's first president, Dr. Paul Clapper, shared with the college on the first day of classes back in October of 1937. And I quote, "What this college will be determined to a great extent by you." By you. Together, we have managed to turn a corner and move towards our future with optimism. I am uplifted and honored by knowing that I count on all of you to achieve our goals and to advance our indispensable mission. So then let me end, I've always said that I'm a blessed man to be able to be part of this community and to be here with you and to do the work that I do. And as I was getting ready to work on the state of the college, and actually, if you can believe it, there's a lengthier version of that, and we're going to put it online for my mother and anybody else who might want to read it. But I received a letter from a student, and if we had asked sort of the PR department to write something, it wouldn't have been as good. So I cannot tell her name because I got it literally like last night, so I didn't have a chance to contact her and ask her permission to give her name. So, dear President Felix V. Matos Rodriguez, with great gratitude, I am writing this letter of appreciation as a QC alumnus. The appreciation of your collaborative effort, Queens College staff, in creating a diverse community to make education accessible for all cultures and roles at Queens College. I was looking through my portfolios I've written for the programs I graduated from, and I must say it is bittersweet for me because I've been on a quiet journey as I was achieving my goals at Queens College along with other transpiring and life-changing events. Some bitter, some sweet, but they all have molded me into a strong role model that I am today. My first college experience began with Queens College and came to an end with Queens College with many accomplished goals and accolades. I completed my bachelor's as a double major, childhood education and applied mathematics. There were life-changing events. Married, had my first son toward the last year of my undergraduate years, so I took off 3 semesters. The thought of going back to school as a wife and mom seemed impossible. Knowing most of my colleagues and classmates are not familiar with that lifestyle, they couldn't possibly understand how the student obligations can be overwhelming when I have other obligations depending on me. However, I never felt for my fear until I had some concrete evidence that it truly, physically and mentally was impossible for a mom to go back to school and make her dreams a reality. Going back to finish my last year in my undergraduate with a 9-month-old was like driving a car with no gas. One had to push the car to get to the nearest gas station. I pushed myself to finish my last year of student teaching with sleepless nights, demanding hours, odd study hours in the middle of the night, and managing motherhood, housewife, and the little things that suddenly became transparent now that it did when I was single. Well, I made it to the gas station with cum laude and dean's list. To see that year complete with honorable status gave me all the fuel of overjoyed confidence and determination I needed to pursue my education furthermore. Going back to Queens College as a mom made me realize how much I took Queens College for granted. The physical structure, the social climate, the supportive staff, the encouraging campus advertisements, yes, they do make a difference. And the campus lifestyle all made a difference in my attitude towards accomplishing my next academic goal. Queens College kept me going and made it possible for me to even dream of pursuing my education to the next level. I went for my post-baccalaureate in secondary education mathematics. I pioneered that year that it brought out a side of me that I never knew. Perseverance. The perseverance that continued my pursuance of a Master's of Science in Education while expecting my second child. I grew fonder of how Queens College is enriched with diversity. It is easy to print on a brochure, our college is diverse, but it is what the college offered that welcomed diversity with open arms. Queens College did just that. The convenience of hybrid courses, extensive computer lab hours, and an affordable child development center made the goals of completing a master's a reality for this mom. I didn't take any breaks with my second child as I did with my first one. After experiencing college life with 2 children, I regret not continuing my attendance while I got married and I was pregnant with my first child. Hence, I want my experience to be a reminder to all those mothers who have a dream of going back to college to act upon it and to start their experience at Queens College. Thank you, Queens College, for building not just a starting point for my future, but a secure future. I am currently a New York City public school teacher teaching at PS 117, the irony of the location being right next to Queens College. I teach 4th grade, and I make sure to remind all my students every year to never give up, because you never know how far you can reach. I hope my message comes across to many Queens College students who experience a lack of confidence, destitute, or loss of hope as a turning point in their lives that they can achieve. Fondly yours, I'll tell you later. Thank you so much for your attendance. Please join us outside for a reception. Thank you.